Welcome back. So you got the market, which is, broader market under a little bit of pressure, and of course, the Nifty still trading with the small gains. 20-odd points is all that is left now. We started at 230 with about a 0.25% gain. Pashupati Advani is founder and chairman of Global Foray. Pashupati, good afternoon. Good to have you here. We've had a fantastic and ferocious bounce. Have you been a buyer over the course of the last 10 days or so, or you've sat pat?
I nibbled, but not enough. So it has been a bit of a damn squib for me. But okay, a little bit of money is still better than no money. And also it brought back some of the positions that had gone down quite a lot. It's been nice, but I think we're going to float again. And I think we may even float down a little bit because except for certain sectors, I think that, we're in a range. And I would say 22,000 on the bottom, 22,000, 22,200 on the bottom, and maybe another 200-300 points from here in Nifty on the other side. So we're floating in a range. Bad news comes from the US. We're coming closer and closer to April 2nd when the tariffs are actually going to bite. And then we're going to see, because everyone in our part of the world doesn't know how to react to the tariffs, because they haven't yet enunciated what the tariffs on Indian companies are going to be. So let's see what happens.
Although, Pashupati, those who we've spoken with, economists, etc., they're of the uniform view generally, that actually our trade with the US is not that large. As a percentage of our trade, of course, as a percentage of US outside trade is very small. Our trade also is very small. So we're not big trading partners. So actual impact, if tariffs go up, it's indirect. So if tariffs go up for the rest of the world and global growth takes a bit of a hit, so that we are a lot more exposed to.
No, for sure. Global growth is obviously going to take a hit. There's no doubt about it because of the volatility and the changing sort of whims of President Trump. I think that he announces one thing and cancels it the next day. So I think that that's going to actually make some difference. But the reality is there's a lot that they can do against us in the sense that our service industry still pumps money into the US and pumps people. The people side is very easy because Elon Musk seems to have dodged the immigration department in the US. So who knows what's going to happen, if it's going to take a lot of money, a lot of time to get visas and a lot of time to get permissions for people to move over there. That's going to cause problems for our IT companies. But the reality of the fact is, I think that we are going to have to sort of make some changes, and those changes are going to be painful for us. And I expect some kind of, inflation all over the world.
Pashupati, you said you nibbled. You sound a little regretful that you didn't buy enough or buy more, but you did buy a little bit. So what is it that you bought?
I am super conservative, and I bought a little bit of Paytm, and I bought a little bit of Zomato, and then I kept quiet and I left it. And I think that there were obviously opportunities in Reliance, HDFC Bank. The big parts of the index have actually moved up quite nicely, and they were also sitting targets looking for us to be able to buy into them. So I think that was a mistake. But hey, life happens.
So why not buy now? HDFC, Reliance, yes, they're not at the lows that they were about a week back, but you're not comfortable, after a 5% up move in these stocks?
No, so I'll tell you what does look interesting are sectors. Reliance is also part of that sector, but I think that we should be looking at Reliance because it's always an interesting stock, and I think that it's moved up nicely and will probably continue to move up. I think personally that we're going to be in a little bit of a sort of hum and haw till April 2nd. And then after that, we shall see what kind of tariffs actually hit us and what's hitting the world, and then take a decision, because I think it's time to keep the powder dry and be ready to buy if the opportunities come. And I definitely think that those opportunities are going to be there. A sitting duck has been the defense industry, because everyone is saying that we may stop buying armaments from the US and we'll have to make our own. So our own industry has to step up, and therefore that provides a great opportunity. And it's the government as well as the private sector that's going to get into all the defense stuff and start doing new capex in that industry. So that's kind of a no-brainer.
All right. Hi, Mr. Advani. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Nibble a little is better than not nibbling at all, right? So at least you got in some money and you're sitting on some gains out there.
At least I didn't sell off stuff at the lows. That's the other thing that people have done.
Indeed.
Yeah, anyway, yeah.
All right. Mr. Advani, but the call on IT, I think the last time around we were chatting about this. You said you're not very optimistic on the tech pack. There is that threat of AI. There's a lot of uncertainties as well. And that call has worked out well, right? Because the tech index has actually underperformed. Year to date, it's still down close to around 13-14%, while the Nifty is more or less flattish. But various sell-side notes, yesterday we had CLSA, today we have a UBS note as well. They believe that maybe the time has come for IT. You're still staying away, or will you nibble?
See, the reality of IT is that it's a large part of our index. So unless IT stocks either become a lesser part of our index or, start to move. They've got some earnings, but I think those earnings are going to be under some pressure. And, I think the real issue is going to be this whole issue of H-1Bs and getting visas to get people into the US, which has been our major market. And I think that that's going to cause a slowdown and probably lesser results from the IT companies. So yes, I am still not bullish about that sector. But hey, who knows? I have been proven wrong, and I guess I can be proved wrong again.
No, absolutely. Now you are saying, Pashupati, near term, those who are watching you, although your time horizon is longer, but since you began by saying you're expecting a bit of potentially a move lower from here, back to about 22,200. Is that what you said?
No, that I think is the bottom. I think we may float down to 400-500 points super niche and just float, because I don't think there's no strong trigger. The good thing is the IPOs have stopped. So I think that's a good positive. So I think that net as money comes into the market, money has come into the market because some people have made a quick flip in China and have flipped money and come back to India and come back into the same things, having made money in China, because the Chinese market was up very, very strong over the last 30 days. So I think that that opportunity has been taken. This is a market everyone needs to be in. They can't be out of this market, but which sectors they choose to be in, I don't know. Obviously a new player is going to put some money in IT because it's 20% plus of our index. But I wouldn't jump in with both feet, because that sector does have issues.
IPOs will start again. I think today in the newspapers there's that Manipal IPO. Which perhaps is coming, could be a large one as and when that happens. NSE, yesterday we heard from the SEBI chairman, WIP, right? Work in progress. He didn't say work in progress, I'm paraphrasing. He said, well, we'll look at it. But of course, no timelines or anything of that sort. There's a lot more in the pipeline. Dreamer would know with the IPO KYC. Sorry.
They've stopped for this week, 10 days. Now they're coming again. I guess they'll come in first week of April.
Well, the QIPs are back.
QIPs are back. And a lot of the lock-in shares, etc., right? Which is a very large amount over the next 2 months or so. These are pre-IPO lock-ins, etc., which are opening up, and so on and so forth. Any other single stocks? You mentioned Zomato, Paytm. Anything else of interest to you? Right
Actually, I have been. One of my favorites has been Indus Towers, which is kind of working out in its own slow way. But
You're enjoying the dividends, but no price gain.
Well, it's okay. That's not a bad place to be. But I think that I think Vodafone may look interesting at these levels because they've got some relief on the tariff.
Yes.
Somebody thinks I'm crazy, but I think below par. I think it may provide a good speculative value. And we'll see. I'm looking at it. I haven't done anything yet, but I may just decide to jump in. So, it's one of those mad things, because I think that, telecom is here to stay. It has to be in there. The government owns 30% of the company at $10. So, what's wrong with that? So, we're partners with the government in a lot of things. What's wrong with the telecom company? And they have got some benefit in this CUG. So I think that's going to be helpful going forward.
So you're studying both Vodafone Idea as well as Indus Towers, both of them?
No, Indus Towers I've got. So I'm just sitting
You've
on
got
it.
that.
I think
okay. And Vodafone Idea, you're flirting with the option of whether or not to get in or not, right?
Yes, but it's a totally speculative option, and it's an option that it's one of these. It's going to be 7 for 0 or 7 for 14. It's one of those. It's not really a stock that you pay for a 5% or 10% margin. So I think
What about IndusInd Bank? That's another one out there, right? The verdict is split out there. 600 to what?
Yeah.
Which way?
Yeah. So again, that's another one that one can play. See, I'm a great event-driven person, so I like these things. So in IndusInd Bank, I think there is some upside, but it keeps going up, and then bad news, and it keeps going down, and now they're sacking. They're not giving any renewals, and they're trying to get a new CEO. So there's a lot of flux there. But in flux, there's always a chance to make money. So yes, I am looking at IndusInd Bank also.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Pashupati. A good conversation.
Thank you.
I look forward to speaking with you after the second.
Happy 25-26. Happy 25-26 for all of us. And let's hope 25-26 is a good year also.
Let's hope so. Absolutely. Thanks again, Pashupati.
Thanks.
I thought for an instant he's wishing like happy, the next few days before Trump, 2nd April comes, and then we're hit with so many headlines. So I thought he's just like, wishing.
So I was told he has decided April 2nd because he didn't want to do it on April 1st because everyone might think it's April Fool's and nobody will believe it. So that's why the tariffs are coming on 2nd. That's what I was told, but I'm sure that's hearsay.
By the way, Pashupati, Reuters is reporting that the government here is open to cutting tariffs on some 55% on US imports. So, things are in motion. This is a completely Reuters story. They say government estimates hit to exports worth $66 billion from Trump tariffs. And they're saying a hike of 6 to 10% for key US exports out of India to the US. So this is some stuff. So, preemptive measures in that sense is what the Reuters story is indicating. We'll take a quick commercial break. Pashupati, thank you again. We'll come back. We'll get a quick check on what's happening in dealing rooms. Nimesh joins in for that.